Chapter 594. Either finished his daily task and sat down in a chair upon entering his room. Though he had completed his work outside, that didn't mean he could head straight to bed. With an impending departure from the capital, he needed to clean his room whenever he could afford the time. Lately, there is just so much stuff piling up. Dried flowers filled numerous vases, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. Drawers were overflowing with gifts that had come from all corners. Among them, of course, were the multitude of clothes and jewels that Kishir had lavishly given him. In his past life, Yudhir had never felt that his room was too crammed no matter where he lived. But these days, his space felt increasingly unfamiliar due to the clutter. But I have no intention of moving out. Yudhir had little desire to leave, even after exceeding the allowed period of staying in the dormitory for his group. The remaining option was to meticulously organize his belongings. There was no need to reorganize the items he had received from Kishir. Those had already been shoved into the wardrobe. The current issue was the influx of gifts he had received since returning from the West. Yudhir began to sift through the hastily stored items. He sorted them by type. Small objects were placed in boxes and large items were neatly arranged. Some particularly important items were set aside. This brooch from the Western Mage Union and this pen was a gift from the Baron representing the officials of the West. The brooch, embedded with a yellow magic stone, had come from Miklan Pant of the Western Mage Union. According to the letter, the yellow color symbolizes the Union, and the brooch had been engraved with a protective spell and the Union's emblem that would be particularly useful for research in the Great Serene Forest. Though permanent usage was naturally impossible, the letter boasted that it would still prove useful, given the extra effort in its creation. At the very least, it seemed incomparable to the disposable protective bracelet he had received from Alec when he had experienced his second gender manifestation. This gift held further significance considering it contained a magic stone from the newly discovered vein in the Great Serene Forest. Thanks to that discovery, the long-stalled process of dividing the boundaries within Great Serene Forest is restarting. The Great Serene Forest, whose abnormal growth had been halted, was currently being extensively logged. Once that was completed, the nations sharing the forest would re-establish their borders. The speed and efficiency with which the nations had come together with the large vein as a focal point was startling. He had suspected as much, but even the nobles and the historically allied Western nations couldn't ignore the opportunity to make a fortune. To secure even a slightly larger share of the magic stone vein, they would have to bow their heads to the Emperor of Or, who had until now been underestimated. Emperor Kalusa wouldn't miss this chance. By now, he was likely expanding his influence. Yudhir attached the brooch to the inner lining of his clothes. It looked like a useful item that could come in handy when he left the capital. Next, the pen that the Baron had sent was not an ordinary quill. It was enchanted. Created to resemble the one Baron used, the nib was fortified against wear and a grip made of fabric and wood added an element of luxury. The magic on this pen turns water into ink. Under the normal circumstances, a pen required a separate ink source, necessitating constant preparation. To mitigate this, a select few who wrote frequently used enchanted pens that could turn water into ink. Of course, even that had its limitations. Despite its high cost, the item only had a half-year lifespan, leading some to label it a monumental waste. Yet, for someone in a position like the Baron, such inconveniences were trivial. The top of the pen was elegantly engraved with the Baron's initials and the family crest. The mere existence of this pen would assure any ordinary officer that there was a close relationship between Yudhir and the Baron. I should definitely take this with me. Yudhir picked up the pen. As he was organizing a few more items, a letter that had been mixed with the contents of a small box fell out. What's this? It was a letter from Prince Eugene he had received not too long ago. Due to events with Kishir, he had been too preoccupied to read it thoroughly and had forgotten about it after placing it in the drawer. Udir unfolded the letter from Prince Eugene. True to form, it was written in beautiful script and emitted a mysterious fragrance. To my esteemed friend, Udir Ale. The content of the letter was not lengthy. Prince Eugene seemed to have successfully expanded his influence within Nurlan. This implied that once the internal chaos of the country was resolved, he would ascend to the throne. Eugene had written that once peace and laughter returned to the people of Nurlan, he wanted to establish a group similar to the cavalry there. I already have loyal and virtuous awakeners following me. I believe that they could form the cornerstone of such an organization. At that time, I plan to reach out for an alliance with the cavalry. Ajay seemed to be seriously contemplating his future reign. The emotions emanating from the letter felt peaceful and filled with newfound certainty. If you, Udir Ale, who has guided me in thinking about the future and serves as the assistant to the commander of the renowned cavalry, could come here, the awakeners of Nolan would gain much strength. Although I do not know when, I hope you will consider this favorably. Should Ajay request assistance in establishing an organization similar to the cavalry, it would be beneficial for Udir to maintain close relations with him. If the day ever came for Udir to visit, it wouldn't feel too unfamiliar. He had visited Nolan a few times in his previous life. Udir silently read through to the postscript at the end. P.S. Not long ago, I suddenly had a fever that startled everyone. They thought I was poisoned, but it turned out that I had manifested my second gender, Alpha. Although I'm still adjusting to having a second gender, I believe I will get used to it soon. Ajay was an Alpha, not surprising. From the letter alone, it was evident that he was adapting and developing well as an awakener, so Udir wasn't overly concerned for his future. Ajay was capable enough to claim a throne and build an empire even when times were tough. Now, he had also gained truly loyal subordinates. The fact that he still called Udir a friend made him slightly uncomfortable. But the time to correct that had long passed. Udir tucked the letter back into its place, contemplating the faint aroma it emitted, which perhaps came from Ajay's second gender. Even though the scent had largely dissipated over time, touching the paper gave him a tingling sensation that was hard to describe. The scent was conveyed not only through the sense of smell, but also through the skin. It seemed that Prince Ajay had just manifested his alpha status, and the aroma clung intensely to the letter he had written. Udir pondered for a moment before pulling out a piece of paper and began writing a reply with the Baron's pen. He penned the customary greetings he'd often used during his days as a cavalry commander and filled the rest of the page with some cautionary advice he knew for a newly manifested alpha. With this, I can consider repaying the compassion he showed me in my previous life. Handing it off to Kishir would ensure that it would get sandwiched between the letters going to Nalan. Udir placed the letter to be sent on the table. The next day, Kishir, who received the letter, responded cheerfully that he would deliver it well. Unbeknownst to him, he would be ensnared by the unexpected beauty that was Kishir as he sipped his tea and stayed much longer than anticipated. Alright, second regular meeting of the intelligence unit. Commence. Applause. Awkward clapping filled the recreation room as everyone heard elder siblings shout. Devran, why aren't you clapping louder? Do it like Gakane. Why should I? Udir didn't tell me to. Devran questioned with a scrunched face. Just because it's fun? Anyway, I bought some snacks today, so let's talk while eating. Sure, we also have a special guest today. Everyone's eyes turned toward the day's special guest, Kana Want. Kana grinned and greeted them with an exaggerated aristocratic flair. Fine, you have all had these fabulous meetings without me. which I'm a bit envious of, but I'm included today, so it's alright. Hen even bought me some butter cookies. Are they good? Absolutely delicious. Where did you get these? From the Fifth Wall district? Let's halt the small talk and focus now. The room quickly quieted down at Uther's words as he flipped through the documents. While his eyes still twinkled playfully, he looked around seriously at the elder siblings, Special Gaskana, and seemingly more tired but invigorated Gakane and Devran, whose face had considerably tanned from sun exposure. Except for Anon, who worked alone, today's meeting gathered all members of the intelligence unit. The meeting was a midterm review organized for those who would soon vacate the capital to head the second recruitment of the cavalry. The main topics of the meeting were information shared about the Star of Nagran and the Sage, which was why Kana had been specially invited. Firstly, if anyone has acquired new information since our last meeting, please share. Can I go first? Gakane timidly raised his hand. I felt like I haven't been contributing much since our last meeting, so I did some legwork. While I didn't find much about the Sage, I did learn something about the southern tribe symbols that Uther had asked us to investigate. Really? How? I have had some interactions with people from the south recently. I asked them what I should do to learn more about the south, and they lent me a book. It was written by someone who visited the south about 15 years ago. Apparently, it's now out of print. Really? Gakane placed the worn book on the table for everyone to see. The old cover didn't even display a title. After reading it, I found out what tribal symbol Uther had sketched. It definitely belongs to the Ansama Mehet tribe. In our language, it means wolf's eye. It was traditionally the largest tribe in the south and even united the entire region to form a nation once. Despite the busy schedule, Gakane's explanation flowed smoothly. And the author of this book assessed that this tribe is far more dangerous than any other in the south.